Salutations and welcome everybody. This is your man K Asante here to talk about Gamescom. Yes, technically I'm still at Gamescom. It is Sunday. We are at a very nice ramen spot, and I'm joined by, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the winner of 2007's Debate of Debates, Aaron. He's here with his hat. What's going on, Aaron?
I'm good, man.
I'm happy to have you here. Thank you for being here, for being my guide as usual in these Gamescom adventures. So, it's been a fun time.
Yeah.
It's Sunday morning. We're hanging out at a local ramen spot. And we thought, why not? Let's just do a round table. You know, let's chat about what we saw, chat about what we didn't like, what we liked, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, compared to this year, comparing to last, what do you think? Do you think this year was far more successful, less successful? What do you think about it?
It was far more fun.
Okay.
For my own part.
Okay.
And I think it comes down to I did a lot of smart planning ahead of this one, where I earlier years have tried to just book everything.
Okay.
And of course I fell down the drain of utilizing those empty slots during some of those days as well to book some spontaneous things and do some spontaneous interviews as well.
Yeah.
But no, it was healthy for me to do 4 or 5 interviews a day. So
basically you're saying you did everything that I didn't do, so you had far more fun.
Yes. I think that's probably exactly what I'm saying. Because you were all over the place, and not only that, you carried this whole, like you had a fridge on his back for this whole time. I don't, so let me just ask you this then. How does it feel to have changed clothes 2-3 times a day?
Sweating my balls off.
Yeah. You were carrying stuff, man, running around. I
had to do it, because, you know, honestly, I know that you have to be here and know it before you have that understanding.
Yeah.
But I wish there was a way that they could convey how vast the distance. Even the pictures don't visualize it enough for you, right? Yeah. It should be like, oh, you booked a meeting at 4.2. Yeah. I suggest you don't book another one at 10, after that, right? No. And logically, it's not like one is next to the other. So sometimes you book one at 4, you go, I'll book one next to 5. 4 and 5 are different locations, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the only way you can optimize your experience is having gone multiple times and going through those mistakes multiple times. You know?
No, you're right. And we found a great spot, like where we're sitting right now.
Yeah.
20, 50 meters from the apartment where we live. Is it this one? Who's recording on this one?
That one.
Yeah, that one. So I can look you in your eyes when I say prepare accordingly, prepare early. This year we was quite lucky to find a great host that have been hosting us here. So we have been able to just like walk from the middle city squares back in 10 minutes.
Yep.
Beautiful. And all the evenings have been, of course, flooded with either networking, events like the Wednesday Nordic party, which we attended to. Waking up at the afternoon.
He mixes alcohol, ladies and gentlemen. You never mix your alcohol. So, with all that in mind, now I guess we can let's group on some of the games we've seen, some of the stuff, because some of that stuff is, I think, what's really important here. Some of the stuff that's really like, you know, we are excited for, and what brought us here, right? We met a bunch of awesome people. Shout out to the Xbox Era crew and lots of wonderful individuals that basically came together to make this experience so much better than it would have been. But of course, you start this up, you make your appointments, and you rush to go see them. My question to you is, give me the first thing you saw.
I mean, of course, it's okay if you want to take it. It's okay.
Go ahead.
Very fine restaurant here. The noodles and the ramen.
Great ramen. Yes.
So they're helping us out here.
Thank you very much. Yes.
So I mean, the first thing that we did was, of course, the Xbox booth reception.
Indeed.
On Wednesday morning. This year, I thought when we went in that this would be even bigger this year, but it was the smallest by far since I came to Gamescom the first time.
Indeed, yep.
And it's kind of wild because, you know, the earlier years, last year and the year before that, they've been extremely huge. Just a reminder, this year also they're trying to push new hardware even if it's not, you know, their own, they're doing the hardware with the Xbox ROG Ally or the ROG Xbox Ally. So I was kind of surprised how small it was, but at the same time, it was intense in a different way because of the smaller size. All of a sudden, it was, you know, lines and queues, and everybody wanted to get in, and they had a fixed limit of people that they let in to the Xbox booth reception during the media day. Of course, it was also open during all the entertainment days, and to this day, today is Sunday, of course, so it's still open if we want to go. But it was surprising to me to see how small they were, but also fascinating to see how many wanted to get in at that point.
Xbox show. We got there Wednesday morning, right? As you said, the venue seemed a little bit smaller, right? Last year, Hall 7 was basically the whole hall was there.
Yeah, they had 60% of the whole thing.
Yeah. Now it's like they had like what, 20, 30, something like that.
If even that.
Yeah.
If even that.
Although,
it was all the way in the back. All the way in the back.
But I will say, when I did ask them about it, one of them did say it's because they added some of their connections to other booths. So as you were in other booths, you could see more of their connections as well.
There was a big World of Warcraft place.
In other places, and Activision was represented. So it was spreid more, but last year, they still had that. And they still had the monster, like all of, basically, most of Hall 7, right? So this time it wasn't that. But as you know, as I'm sure a lot of us who watch this stuff are about, they were showing off the old ROG Xbox Ally, right?
Yes.
I need your thoughts, sir. What did you think? Everyone has given their takes. I'm still kind of formulating mine. What are your thoughts of what you got your hands on with?
So, to paint a picture, what happened when I picked it up was, of course, I booted up Expedition 33, and after I finished it a fourth time, I started to look at...
So you booted it up, played for what, 30 hours?
As I should. No, I mean, so I booted it up and I immediately thought of, this is not running that good. We talked about this, you and I. So me thinking, how come this doesn't run as good on the strong version of this?
On the X.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of things that needs to go into it. I went into the settings, I turned it down to low. And it still wasn't running at 60.
Is it running at 1080p versus 720p? And blah, 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 blah,
a lot of things that need to be measured and taken into account. What I'm saying is, this is not me quoting as a hardware expert saying that, oh, it can't run 60 for Expedition 33. This is me saying my experience was underwhelming.
Okay.
Because my expectations would be like buttery crisp, just smooth.
And it wasn't,
smooth. And then I switched over to try out Lies of P.
Okay.
It ran better, a lot better, but it wasn't really there in the minds for me where I felt like, oh man, I'm really, because when you pick it up, it has its weight. And I think for me, the biggest challenge I had with my Steam Deck was the weight.
Okay.
And even, this is gonna sound crazy, even the Switch 2 has a certain weight to it that I kind of like. Yeah, when I'm almost dozing and falling asleep in my bed, I don't like. It needs to be.
It needs to be light.
It needs to be super light, like a controller. Nothing more than that.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. See.
So my first impression was not great.
Okay.
But I'm gonna fast forward to talk a little bit to end off my impressions for the Xbox Ally.
Sure.
When I played Planet of Lana 2, I played that on probably an older version of the ROG Xbox Ally, the white one. It felt super plastic, it was super light, and me playing Planet of Lana 2, buttery smooth, it made me feel like, okay, this is the Switch that I wanted to have. But now also I can play all these other PC games. But you know, for that purpose, and that's the thing that made me think of, this was also during the Wednesday, about Wednesday afternoon. So that was what grew in me to be like, okay, so if they have this, then maybe an audience like myself, who usually plays a lot of small games on the go, now I'm not gonna sit down and play the next Cyberpunk, you know, on a handheld. I'm going to play that on the big screen. So for a guy like me, I think that could be the sweet spot.
Okay.
The Ally X. No, not the Ally X, the Ally.
The first one. Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay. Okay. You know, and I appreciate your breakdown, because I kind of feel the same way. I kind of feel the same way. Like, I look at it, and I look at it a little differently, but ultimately we landed in the same station, which is, like, for me, the white one is the most competitive against the Switch. It's for the Switch-like competitor, right? Not to say that they will take that Switch crown, because come on, the Switch is established. It is what it is. But if you want a competitor, this is the closest to it. And with that, the person you're marketing to would be a person who would be susceptible to buy a Switch, right? And with that in mind, that series, the Ally white one, we're gonna just call it the Ally S, right? We're just gonna call it the Ally S because it's the same paradigm.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Right? The Ally S is probably the best balance. I said that online, and forgive us, we're traffic. You know, we're doing this live, baby. It's the best balance, right? Of performance to lightness to potential price, right? Like, right? It seems like it's the one that most people should go for, because yeah, it's not the most powerful. Yeah, the battery won't last the longest.
Yeah.
But it's light, it's thin,
Yeah.
it reminds people, it feels like a Switch.
Yeah.
And while I don't come to this market with like comparisons of a Switch in my hand, because my market is the X, right? It's marketed to the big guys, right? You come to it with that in mind, because obviously that's the reference design. And for that in mind, the S is the sweet spot. I need them to hit the price. If they hit that price well, I think that's the one that's more likely to move more units than anything else, because like you said, it's not necessarily geared towards running the hardest of hardcore games.
No.
I will say though, I played Forza Horizon on the S, right? And I was talking to Jason,
The
head
white
of software.
one.
The white
Feels
one.
weird to hear you say S about the
S.
Ally.
Yeah, Ally S, yeah, the white one. I spoke to Jason, not Ronald, but the head of software. He was doing the demo for me. And he himself told me that there's a lot of optimizations that have gone into their gaming aspects there, right? So and we've heard news stories of them coming out. They're pre-caching shaders now. They're doing a lot to make that console feel like that handheld feel like a console, right? And in their first party games, like for Forza Horizon, it from jump was butter, right? I think that potentially what you're seeing, since you played Expedition and you played Eliza P, they aren't their first party. So it may be a conversation with developers to find that optimized, unique, right?
That as well. But let me put it like this. I actually did this weird thing as well, which is there is something with the software that they have in the Ally. Of course, maybe only the Ally X. I think it's probably both.
I would suspect both,
That made me able to, without knowing it, this was a different level of stuttery that I experienced. Without knowing it, I switched from Lies of P to Expedition 33, and the console played both games at the same time. I have never experienced that on a PC, so I'm not sure what it is about this UI.
No, it can do it on a PC too.
Yeah,
you can load two games at the same time.
Yeah, but at the same time, of course, I'm always trying to imagine myself as not I'm okay with a little bit of this and that and janking here and there. Like, I'm okay with buying a Steam Deck and creating two partitions and doing the dual boot. I'm okay with playing around with that for 2 days straight because I think it's fun.
But that's not for everybody.
But that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not even for the regular Steam Deck user. So looking at this, I always thought, okay, so who is this for?
Oh God, he said it. Oh God.
I don't. That was got me to think.
For those who know, continue.
Now is what got me to think of it when I play with the white Ally instead. And again, we've been talking about this and how we can see some logic behind that if they manage to pull out a really good price point. But I want to be very specific about them, and words are getting lost right now. the type of crowd that I'm talking about,
Okay.
which are,
demographic.
you know, a lot of us bought a Switch because it was the Nintendo new console. Down the line, we saw reports of indie developers also gaining even more money from the sales on the Switch because for some reason that we all can guess, you know, portability and so forth, a lot of players wanted to buy those third-party smaller games on their Switch because they
Switch,
could
yeah.
play them all the time.
Yep.
And that created a second, in my interpretation is that created a second market, which is the market of people who now live in a world where they are expecting to be able to enjoy these smaller games on
the
handheld
go.
products.
Yes.
With the Steam Deck, that is a new market that they paved the way for.
Sure.
And this market is for the visionaries, the dreamers. I wish I could play Cyberpunk 2077 in the hands, you know, like this. And that is a very niche market. That is an extremely small market.
Sure. I wouldn't call them the dreamer market. I'd call them more the enthusiast market where I live. My MSI claws in my bag, and I can play the Steam Deck on the go. Cyberpunk on the go.
Yeah, but
easily.
But that has been the dream for so many
for a long time.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that
I'd
dream-
say about 2023 is when we really started getting that.
Yeah, but you know, it is.
It's a different market.
If
You're right.
we push the levels to that market, now the dream is to play a fully path traced 4K version in your hands. You know what I'm saying?
Good luck with that.
But and now you're dreaming because now it's in the dream reality.
I don't think that I will live long enough to see a fully path traced game being played mobilely.
I'm not saying that this is what
locally
we will,
rendered.
This is not what I'm saying that we will get that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I'm differentiating the market between the market that
those who
expected-
have expectations of
A
this.
lot of PC players, of course, have bought the Switch because they had to play something on their hands.
Yeah.
Because the smaller games, we love the indie games. The market that has grown, I think the Ally, the Xbox Ally, not the Ally X, will work for that portion of the market, which I believe the market of people who want to play these smaller titles on the go, I think they are bigger than the market of people that want to play Cyberpunk 2077 on the go.
No doubt. I don't disagree with you at all on that. Absolutely. And actually, to your point, to double up even more on that point, a lot of times, and again, we're not comparing them, but now I'm going to compare them.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I watch Nintendo Directs, I'm watching the next games I'm playing on Game Pass, right? And there's just copious amounts of Game Pass fodder. I say that facetiously. On the Nintendo Direct, this, that, or the third, right? I'd say 80% of Nintendo Directs are games that come to Game Pass, except for the key title that won't because it's Nintendo, right? So with that S conversation, right, specifically that S conversation, the white one, there is the idea that, hey, now you have this little device. It plays all these games. It's considerably more powerful than the Switch 2 and the Steam Deck, but it's thin, it's light, and guess what? If you have a Game Pass hub, now all those mobile, those easy to pick up and play games that you would otherwise see on Nintendo, you'd buy them piece by piece by piece, they're now all part of your sub. I think that's a very strong argument to make. And it may carve up some of that audience. It may, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to put Switch on its back at any point, but I think it'll be a healthy audience.
It's not about that.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, the reason you and I started this conversation is because I think both you and I want to at least understand, so for Microsoft to keep investing in this handheld thing, what drives them? And my opinion is, my guess is they will not be driven to cater to that niche, I want to play Cyberpunk 2077 on the go. They have to be driven to cater to that other segment that are okay with it. Yeah, like
the
pick up and play, you know, the Dead Cells, the Planet of Lana's, you know, the smaller games.
And that right there, what you just said, dovetails really well into what we were originally talking about, which is they are catering to the common denominator. Right? That's why that S looks like that's where they spent all their time finding the balance, finding the perfect ergonomics. I initially had issues with how the screen had all this real estate, but not screen. I still have a little smoke for the top and bottom bezels, but the left and right side that have space now, when you hold on to it, it's so ergonomically sound, it even gives you space for front firing speakers not to be muffled. They really thought it through, right? And then if you are the segment who's like, oh, well, I want to play my Cyberpunk on the go and all that, they have the X for you.
Yeah.
But that X, for me, I think is less of an interesting product compared to that S. Because if you're marketing it to me, like, okay, you're telling me it's an upgrade. The screen, to me, is not an upgrade, right? It's still got the top and the bottom. Bezels are still pretty thick. The battery is still the same. It's great. Excellent battery, no doubt. But it's not an upgrade. It's literally the same thing I have in the Ally X if I have an Ally X. Right? So is the screen, right? The ergonomics are amazing. That Z2 processor will crush. And the generative AI, the AI capabilities and the tops that are available there will allow for a lot of interesting things. But in that top end market where people compete, ooh, what a catch. There's a world where I just had glass shattered all over me.
That's dad reflexes right there.
Is not happening.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
That's dad reflexes. I was about to turn it, but I don't want to do any commercials.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
And then I slipped.
Needless to say, in
non-alcohol, by the way.
Yes, please. In that higher end market, there's more competition, and others are doing a good job there now. So if you are like me and you play in that space, you probably have already gotten a competitive product, which makes this one not look as good. This is the whole reason for why I'm saying what I'm saying, right? If you're a lower end gamer, you either are thinking of a Switch 2 or you already have one or you have a Switch 1. And this is a good competitive product in that world. The topper end,
depending on the price.
Depending on the price, yes, that'll still be key. Let's say it here for posterity, $499 or bust. If it's higher, $550 will still move, but I really think it's got to be $5. If it's $499, it's there.
Because they don't have the, again, if the comparison is going to work, they will not have the Nintendo IPs.
No.
So if the comparison is going to work for a market that thinks like, well, should I buy into this because the majority of games, so here's my critique for Nintendo, among others. The majority of games that I played on my Switch was not, maybe Nintendo games, but the smaller games. So
the Celeste and all of that.
The Switch becomes this platform where I jump into a first-party game every now and then, but in the bed, on the trains and so forth, it are these other games. So for that market, again, they have to think, okay, so now I have to compare and pick between this and that, like as the bonus, because the main usage of this are these small pick-up-and-go experiences. And they're all over the place. And especially with the ecosystem, of course you're going to be on the Ally.
So truth be told, like there's a lot more to say about the handhelds. I did some videos, some guerrilla filmmaking videos, playing with it and testing it out. Before we move on to another topic, I will say, like, I'm waiting to see the dust settle on this, because they had many on display, and they were all in various stages of development. None of them was ready for Gen Pop. Like, none of them were, okay, tomorrow you can sell this thing, right? All of them were, well, this one was pretty good in the operating system, but the Xbox button was disabled. This one could only have the desktop mode up. It didn't have the other mode. This one, you could do the hub and everything. They all, some folks that were able to get previews, some of them were even able to play old prototype versions of what would be the Ally. Right? There was no one that was there that was like, okay, this is the one that's getting ready for retail box. The software wasn't ready for retail. The hardware wasn't ready for retail. Even though the hardware felt great, and the software, when it works, which is most of the time, felt great, there was still rough edges all over the place. I mean, I accidentally crashed it twice.
Oh yeah?
Accidentally.
Yeah?
Yes, because...
What do you do?
Because, come on, we have to see if this thing's supposed to be a desktop and an OS at the same time. You can't hand this to me, lock it down to the OS, and say, yeah, here, have at it. I want to see the desktop. No, sir, you can't see the desktop.
So you saw the desktop, yeah.
And then it had to be rebooted real quick. But
Did you play Solitaire?
No, I didn't play Solitaire. I played Balatro, actually.
Close. All right.
But ultimately, I guess to close out this segment for now, because there'll be a lot more to talk about here.
I think smarter people like me, mind you. I'm just saying.
Please, with very intelligent.
Not in hardware.
Who've had hands on. Absolutely. You know, I think this is an interesting segment. I think it's an entertainment. I'm excited for it. I am not the target audience for the X because I have my claw and I'm gonna stick with it. But I mean, if the price is right, maybe at some point you'll see me with the S because it looks cool and it's thin, it's light, it's really like it's that device that could be the throw in your bag. And you know, I'm at the dentist. I need some a couple minutes of game time. You know? It could be that device. So I really do agree that they have something. They have something. You know.
And last critique for me. I really like the D-pad on the Xbox controller.
Okay. Yeah.
So for me, you're not going to call something an Xbox unless you at least follow that format with the D-pad. I don't vibe with the D-pad or the triggers on the Ally.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they are functional. Don't get me wrong.
But they're not an Xbox.
If we're going to dive into the details of it, those are absolutely details that are important for a player like me.
Yeah. Understood. But yeah, I wait to see what the retail unit looks like and feels like, and that retail software looks like and feels like. At its best, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So we shall see. You know.
Absolutely exciting.
Yeah.
No, 1,000%. Yeah.
So let's do some highlights on some games we saw.
Yeah.
And I will let you go first, sir, and then I'll take the next one. What's the first game you saw that was like, yup, this stands out on my list?
I mean,
a game you can talk about, because there are some games we can't talk about.
Yeah. There's that.
And there may be overlap between your list and mine.
Yeah, so I think maybe just to respect our time now as well.
Sure.
Otherwise, we will be sitting here for 2 more hours.
Yeah, absolutely not. No, yes.
We'll save those conversations for later.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought about during, of course, Wednesday, which is not the day that I'm looking at here, Wednesday. Oh yeah. I mean, okay. Okay, so on Wednesday we saw The Last Caretaker. I played High on Life 2. Planet of Lana 2. And then I did something else that I can't remember. Or maybe I do. So, out of those, I would say that High on Life 2 was the thing that kind of caught me off guard. Not because I haven't played the first one, not finished the first one, like I've beaten 6 out of 9 bosses in the first one. And the first one doesn't really sit with me that well. It is fun to play if the kids are with me because it's this weird, stupid humor. And of course, the second one, the demo that we played, I mean, there are so many demos that we played that are janky. Sometimes things go wrong, sometimes things crashes. And a lot of times when things go smooth, you feel like, oh, this is probably nearly launched, but of course it isn't because it's just a cut slice. But this demo was not only super tight, and I'm saying this because this is important. This demo contained of kind of like 3 different, they dropped us on the level that was called the Comic-Con planets or something like that, where they had, car con or whatever. I'm just making examples, or hotel cons or sign cons, whatever it might be. And then of course murder con.
Of course.
And High on Life, of course, you kill a lot of people or aliens in those games. And when I got to murder con, for those of you who know Knifey, the little crazy knife.
Yeah.
It created, you also worked with so here's the thing, you work with a new bounty hunter that immediately dies. So when this bounty hunter dies, he says, because of course he still lives, some parts of him live, one of those parts is his head. He says, yeah, fix me up with my gun. So Knifey, as you would, cuts him off, cuts off the head, fixated to the gun, cuts off some limbs and cuts off some, organs, and now you have a new gun that talks to you.
So there's a new gun.
So the new gun you have is also the bounty hunter who was supposed to help you.
They're supposed to talk to you. Okay.
So long story short, when you play during the murder con, which is pretty much just like a flood of enemies and kill as many as you can, one could imagine, having experience with Knifey, that Knifey, of course, goes wild.
Loses his mind. Yes.
Like he loses his mind, he goes over top, and then he comes back down, takes a breather, and it comes a second wave. And there's this beautiful, weird kind of like you have knife in the one hand and you have the new bounty gun in your other. They start to talk when you kill all these aliens all the time. And it starts to become sort of a bromance between them.
Oh man, wow.
And it's this super eloquently directed thing of killing and killing and killing and killing everybody. Knifey becoming super just hyped, like exploding. And then of course you have, the new bounty hunter and them creating this romance. It was just super weird, weird, but I could not stop laughing.
Okay.
And that led me to afterwards think I need to talk about some of the developers around this, because there's something that happened. Squanch Games. And later down the week, I did a small interview with them. Why? Because I needed to take a step back. What is it about this what is it about violence that is so fun? What is it about killing and murdering stuff that is so fun?
Yeah, I think the video game industry can tell you about that.
Yeah, but again, like numbers go up at one point.
Yeah.
But making it a humor aspect. Is what I was thinking about. So, and I can give you this from the interview. One of the things I asked him about is that when Knifey cuts up the organs of any big boss that they've killed, the camera goes away. So you see Knifey getting excited to go in.
They don't show the viscera.
They don't show it. And I asked them, I was like, what about that? And they actually, breaking news, they actually had Knifey. They actually showed a lot of visceral stuff in the beginning.
Okay.
So there was a lot of, limbs and organs and bodies being opened up by Knifey, going all crazy in the beginning. But what they felt was it became too visceral, too violent, and it took the fun out of it. The weird thing that Knifey would be excited.
It became disturbing if you start showing all that stuff and laughing about it.
Yeah. So they shifted away from that.
Yeah, good call, I think.
Yeah,
good call.
Because it is, I think it's impressive when creators can let your imagination do the work instead of showing it, and that is what's happening in their games. I'm not sure if I'm going to vibe with the full game, because this is the point that I want to bring up as well with that demo that I really liked. Creating a demo as tight as this, with its own kind of like narrative, like they tied the knot so well after this demo as well. With the sound designer kind of like talking to the player, breaking the fourth wall, super tight. That is not how the game will be. Like that is not how the game will be.
That's how the vertical slice is.
And 3 of them beautifully handcraftedly cut between, so I was always engaged. And I applaud them for that.
Okay.
And of course, one of the big things is the mobility with the skateboard. So now you can ride around, it goes quicker.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you ride on the skateboard in the second game.
Okay.
So everything goes faster. And you can, grind on things and jump around on things and do all that kind of thing. So that is the thing they play with speed in this game instead of the verticality with the jet booster in the first game. So they switched those things out. But more than that, I bet I might actually not vibe with the second game.
No?
It might end up with that. But the demo, sharp, on point. No pun intended.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So he just saw Crafton people jumping in.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so in the interest of time.
Yes. Because you see how much we talk.
There's a lot there. I think I want to present my highlights.
Yeah, you got to do
just of my highlights of what I saw that I thought like, hey, this deserves a double click.
Yeah.
Right? And we may double click on that at some point.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have to.
Yeah.
But in the short term, of peaks and tides.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No.
Of peaks and tides.
No.
Put that on your list, people. If you are a Monster Hunter lover, if you love survival, crafting, open world aspects with a Monster Hunter world aspect of it where, by the way, all the weapons you choose completely change up the combat flow, like very, very interesting sandbox mechanics, physics and gravity and all this, very well thought out, and it's all in this beautiful mythology of Eastern mythology and fables. Beautiful game. wonderful grass wafting in the breeze. Harkens a little bit to Breath of the Wild, like a little bit in its whimsy and all that. Really, really beautiful. Of peaks and tides. It's really, really early on. You know, I think in 2017 maybe. I think the developer said, I spoke to them. They said that 2026 is when they're thinking of doing early access, with 2027 being at some point the full term release. I think it's a small man team, 7 people at most, at their max. But from what I've seen, it is quite beautiful. I will, as we speak, I'll interstitch some of the footage in here so you guys can see it. Another one that I will quickly mention, he mentioned as well, I think that may have been, I can't say it's like a game of show, but it really did take something, like, it's special. The Last Caretaker. Yeah. I think it's beautiful. It's just so well made and wonderfully crafted, and it's a video game that doesn't hold your hand. You know, you need to know how to open a door. Yeah. How do you open the door? Think of it logically. It's not press button to open door. It's hold the door and move it because you're opening the door.
Oh yeah, like small things like that.
They thought of the tiny details, and like it has a very much first person VR like lineage. So like Subnautica, and one of my favorite VR games of all time, Lone Echo. And this game reminds me so much of Lone Echo. You're a robot on a space station. You're taking care of. It is so much Lone Echo. And to me,
this is on a platform
in the sea versus in space. Yes, and it's just so beautifully crafted. The story is super interesting. The developer was a riot and hilarious and very, 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 very forthcoming with his time. Yeah. You know, The Last Caretaker. Keep an eye on that one. That should be on your list.
It comes from one of the old creators behind the Trials games.
Yeah. Yeah,
of course. They went on to create this new studio. Yeah, more to talk about Last Caretaker. Yeah.
Demon Blades. It's Daimon. Demon Blades. Also, very close to release. Very soon coming out. That game looks really awesome. It's a Souls-like, but it adds different elements to it. Makes it less Souls hardcore. Kind of makes it, I wouldn't say approachable because it's still very hardcore, but like if you're not necessarily a Souls person that's okay with getting your butt handed to you all day, this gives you tools to kind of not get your butt handed to you all day. And it's very fun in that way. Right? I walked into the interview going, I don't know if I like this because it's a Souls-like, and I'm not really a Souls-like person. I left going, yo, this is hype. I can't wait to play more. This is awesome. You know, it was a very fun game. Demon Blades coming very, very, very soon. I think September somewhere. We shall see very soon. And then, of course, another one that this man will co-sign, Hella. Hella needs to be played by everyone when it comes out. If you've seen the trailer, it's like you're a little mouse and you have a little backpack on, and the backpack is like a little frog with a tongue. And the idea
completely normal.
Completely normal. The idea, and if you noticed, we saw this 2 years in a row. Last time, it's still the backpack frog, the backpack rat idea was a little more janky. It just kind of stuck out of his back. Now he's wearing a backpack and it's all clean, and it's like they thought about it a little bit, right?
So the story is, of course, these two mice, they are helping an old witch in the wood.
They are witches' familiars. That's what you call it. Yeah, they're the witches' familiars.
Oh, okay, that's the call. Okay. Yeah. So she's been helping out others, and now all of a sudden she's got sick.
Yeah, she's getting sick.
So they're trying to help her out with helping others, but also helping her.
Yeah.
And so it's very much a game about playfulness, togetherness,
collaborative, joy, playing, just having fun for the sake of it.
Yes, I think the best. Let me give you a little bit of a headline. Let's see if you take this one from me. The best explanation when I talked to Martin Salin about the inspiration was the 2007, I repeat, the 2007 video game Skate.
Says the man who won the 2007 debate. Go ahead, speak on it.
So Skate, of course, is a game where skateboarding simulator, where you go on the skateboard, you go between mission to mission, you do accomplishments and so forth. But in between comes the beauty of skate, the playfulness, the
Yeah.
playground. You find it 3 stairs, you know, 3 stairway, and you try to do a kickflip down it to look just like it looked when you did it in the past, in real life. And that beauty, that tool set of playfulness, where you do things and spend hours and hours on end to do a thing that doesn't have a single goal tied to it, a single progression system tied to it, a single achievement tied to it, that is the thing, the tool set they wanted to create.
Yeah.
That type of gameplay loop for players. So, I mean, this is not a skateboarding game, mind you.
No, it's not. So basically, the sandbox, real quick, you're in the woods. You can play with multiple people, multiple controllers.
Up to three other friends. So 4 in one.
In total.
Yeah.
And you can create, I guess, clones of yourself. So up to 4 people can play at all. Shadows, yeah. You can up to 4 people can play at all times. But even if you're by yourself, you can clone yourself, go create shadows of yourself to continue doing what you were doing before in order to help facilitate the third or fourth member to solve the puzzle.
Yeah, certain puzzles demands of like 4 mice to hang in, you know, 4 places.
So for example, you have two pillars and you need to put a rope in between the 2 pillars. You're only 1 player. You go stand on 1 pillar, create the shadow of yourself, and now that shadow is standing there holding the rope. You can take the same rope, go to the other side, and now there's 2 people, holding the rope. That's
so
how
even 1 player can solve the puzzle by themselves.
Exactly.
And if you're 2, then both players can create, you know, players can create 2 shadows, and if there are 3, you can only create 1 shadow.
Yeah.
And if you are 4 players,
then
you don't have any shadows. Yeah.
But the best part about this game that I loved, and I said exactly the same thing to Martin when we were playing, it gave me Halo vibes. I'm like, huh? Like it's this sandbox thing where he's like, yeah, you can use physics to traverse the divide further than you normally can. So you can shoot yourself up in the air. When you hit a certain threshold, you shadow yourself and then teleport yourself as the shadow to the bottom. And now your shadow is catapulting you further. Right, it's exactly the same thing. Like in Halo, I'd put all my grenades in a warthog. I'd shoot it, it explode. I'd use the grapple shot, and now it's shooting me up. You can do the same thing in that game with the shadows, and now you're like traversing. We were going crazy in that game.
Yeah,
because
so much fun. Another thing, this world is the game, like the forest world that they've built. Yeah. Is big, like it's of course bigger than anything that Martin and
it
a
looks
lot of
kind
his
of like
colleagues.
the grounded world, big open world without any of that, the weird things. But it's just beautiful, lush greenery forest.
Yeah, and it's but for so Wind Up Games, the new studio, contains some developers that came from Coldwood Interactive that made the Unravel games. But also a lot of new developers, of course. So, but it is among Martin's, of course, and some of the earlier Unravel developers, it is their first journey into the 3D open world realm. And one of the things that we played around with was, of course, to leave a shadow at a place. Mind you, if you play this game with a friend in your couch, you can play split screen.
Yeah.
So, if I stay at one corner of the entire world, and I create a shadow, or I can just stay there. You can stay in the other corner. You can, in an instant, teleport to me.
Yep.
Which loads up your world directly on my end.
Yeah.
And we can also do that with, I can also create shadows of myself and teleport myself to those shadows, which is kind of like, I was thinking, how quick are these fast travels, which is what they are. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And it's impressive. And when we went into that, of course, he talked a little bit about the design philosophy, and he mentioned like they also want to test boundaries. Like they want to test, just like the players would be expected to test boundaries within their world. The developers themselves want to test these boundaries to see how hard can they push this, because remember, this game will launch on Switch 2.
Oh yes, it will.
So,
yes, it will. It will launch on everything. So it will be.
But not
exciting,
these old Switch.
No, not the old.
Not the
newer.
The current.
Yeah.
So it still will have some boundaries when it comes to the tech. But yeah.
It is interesting what he's doing. It looks super interesting. I can't wait to play it with my kids.
Yeah.
It looks very interesting. I had the opportunity to chat with Martin for a little bit. You know, he tends to have his philosophy behind his games, and of course it's early days. He hasn't really like opened the veil on the deep story yet. But similarly, it looks like he's doing the thing he always does, which is, you know, like that nugget of that core message, of that real hardcore, interesting message that he's providing, and then he shrouds it with such beauty and playfulness, and you know, it's like he said it when we were chatting. He likes to hide his medicine, you know, in between all the pretty. He likes to hide that nugget. You know? So I'm looking forward to the medicine he chooses to deliver this time around. You know, it looks super interesting. So there's Hella. Now I have a few more. But I wanna skip through them quickly because I want us to talk about the other one that you and I both had experience with. Dead as Disco. I'm gonna be playing that. I'm gonna be hopefully getting the developer on at some point. Rhythm game guy, loved that game. Kung Fu with TikTok music. Say no more. Amazing. Morbid Metal, Ubisoft game. Freaking amazing. Like it's one of the. I saw it on Next Fest. I just happened to be on Next Fest and I saw it, and it was just like so kick butt with the robots and the way they work, and actually the way they made it work. You have different classes, super fast or methodical and slow and powerful, and you can switch between them instantaneously. And the locomotion is super fast, so you're just speeding through the world, slicing people up, blocking shields, this, that. It's very visceral, kinetic, and very, very cool. I had a great time with it. And then of course, Phantom Blade Zero. Oh, Phantom Blade Zero. That game, we're gonna put a pin in Phantom Blade Zero because I have a feeling that's the game we're gonna be talking about in 2026, maybe 2027, depending on when they release it. But when it comes out, it will be the next big thing, I think. I think it's the next big thing.
But in what way though?
It's the next.
How many of these are you playing if you compare them to these games?
So I don't play Soulsborne games in general, but I played Elden Ring. I beat Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I tried Lies of P, got halfway through, lost my interest. Demon Blades.
Oh, Demon Blades?
Blades that's coming out.
Yeah.
I think I will play that because of those tools that I see that it's giving me that makes it more than just beat your brain until eventually you figure it out, right? So when you give me tools to traverse that divide and it makes it like more capable for me, then I'm interested, right? This as well, Phantom Blade Zero as well. Now, I'm not sure, because we played it twice now, at least I played it twice now, and every time I start out like a badass motherfucking samurai. Like I'm a oh boy, right? And no matter how hard the world is, no matter how difficult it is, I know I have all the tools here, baby. You wanna come for me? You're coming for me, right? I'm coming for you, right? That is Phantom Blade. Now, if the game starts, and you're naked walking around in the woods like most Soulborn start, maybe you lost me.
So here's my thing. I would say that this, compared to any From Software game, the closest we will ever get is maybe Sekiro.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's more Sekiro with more Ninja Gaiden in it, rather than Soul straight.
Yeah. I think when we. That's why I asked, like, so which are the games that you're comparing
the
this with?
action games, the Ninja Gaiden, not Ninja Theory, Team Ninja type games, they were the design for a while. They were the reference for a long time in that hard-hitting action game genre. And then From seemed to have upped the ante and kind of made that hard as nails gameplay style theirs.
I would disagree. I would say the Capcom was the reference.
Okay, no, that's fine.
But I think different
now,
perspectives.
Sure, but now basically From owns that genre, right? I feel like
you're talking about difficulty now.
Difficulty and traversing difficulty as a mechanism, difficulty as a gameplay loop. Right? Because that was Ninja Gaiden for the longest time.
Yeah, that was Ninja Gaiden.
Right?
You're right.
And now it's Soulsborne games. Right? I feel like Phantom Blade is half in, half out. Yeah, we'll kick your butt, but we'll also give you the cool tools to kick butt too if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, so my take is it is nothing like a Souls-like.
Okay.
That's my point. Sure. A Souls-like for me, why I love Lies of P so much, is because it has that stiffness. You strafe, and you do that in the Phantom Blade Zero as well.
Yeah.
But there is a animation pattern within From Software's most games, as well as Lies of P, that makes me look at Lies of P as the best Souls-like out there.
Okay.
Because it has a lot of things going for it when it comes to parrying, dodging, evading, weapons, etc., etc. Where
What's the difference in this?
Yes, Phantom Blade Zero.
Yeah. Which, let's be clear, you played far more of it than I have. So your thoughts of it are far more the definitive. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's just put it like this. If this is From Software, this is Assassin's Creed, Phantom Blade Zero is almost here.
So it's in the middle.
So they prioritize beautiful animation work, which affects combat, of course.
Yeah.
So it's beautifully animated.
It's viscerally like ridiculously.
And they try to get the best of both worlds with the, parrying, with the evading, and they nail that as well. Like, this is a action game that plays really well. This is an action game that, just like Stellar Blade, plays really well. I would say that this is a little bit more fluid. Stellar Blade has a little bit more set piece animation wise, like this slow motion, yada yada yada, with it. But this is more fluid.
Okay.
So compared this to, let's say, Elden Ring, Elden Ring feels like you're moving a little brick rock at all times. This is
far more fluid and fast.
Because it's more animation prioritized.
Yes.
And that's why I mentioned Assassin's Creed. That is crazy animation priority.
Sure.
That is like everything you do has to look realistic.
Although I would say where I would pull Assassin's Creed away from it is this is far more focused on gameplay than Assassin's Creed is. Assassin's Creed is also focused on gameplay as well, but to your point, it's all about the visuals there.
No. I'm talking specifically about the animation work.
I'm talking
because the animation will demand how you utilize your combat system at the end of the day, because there are no. So, for one example, one of the most frustrating things with the Phantom Blade Zero right now is that there are no cancellations within combat animations, which means two things, except one. And the one that I got canceled out of plenty of times was drinking the potion, the health potion.
Yeah.
When I'm drinking the health potion, I can only do that when I'm not currently inside an animation. So that lets me to always have to wait for the perfect timing, which of course never is during a boss fight, and then press it. If I'm being hit during the animation, I won't get the potion. It's super frustrating. I hope there's something, because
there is no animation break at all. I experienced that as well a few times.
And then there's also the difficulty thing. Phantom Blade Zero is, in my opinion, not a difficult game. In my opinion.
Okay.
And I played on the hardest of the hardest, like the Hell Walker difficulty, the red one, from the get-go, because I wanted to see what it's about. Because I remember last year, that was one of my things. I reckoned that this is not super hard. This is not me, Lies of P, fighting one boss for 4 hours straight. This is challenging, but
the bosses
effective.
can be challenging.
But
the world itself is not.
But the reason being, so what I'm saying is, I played it in that way, on the hardest difficulty setting from the get-go, because I wanted to experience it. There are challenges there. There is challenge. But here's the thing. There is a really forgiving save system.
True.
So even with a boss fight, if I start at a checkpoint, like 50 meters away from a boss, I fight the boss, and for some reason I manage to kill the boss first phase, and then we go into the second phase. There's an exploit currently in the game's design, which lets me, if I've already used up all my potions, then I can just kill myself because I passed the first phase. So if I die, I start from the checkpoint again, I go back, and then I start from the second phase. There are small things like that that makes the game a lot more easier.
A little easier, yes. A little more forgiving.
And this is not a bad thing.
No,
because the game is.
But that's why I like it. That's why I might actually play it.
But that's the thing. I think, again, whenever we use, which we do too often in my opinion, the comparisons to Souls-like.
To Souls-like, yes.
A lot of those things are not taken into account, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So but with that said, this game, it hits. It hits directly. The beautiful animation work.
Kicks butt.
It just hits. The only thing that I was disappointed at was not wearing headphones, because I imagine that there's some great music there as well, some original scores. So,
I mean, did you try the weapons? They have many different weapons now.
Absolutely.
Tried a bunch of different weapons. They're pretty dang cool. Now, last one. Unless you have another one that you want to go. Last one, and then I'll give you a chance to go a couple.
Sure, I'll take the last one.
The last one, Exoborn. Talk to us about Exoborn, because now I chose Exoborn because these are the ones that he and I both got a chance to play together, either one after another. Hella as well, Phantom Blade as well, and Exoborn we actually got to play together in the same group, in the group to play together. Now, you are a Division player. I played Division campaign almost to fruition, but I did my best to try and play it as a single player game, right? I'm not the multiplayer. Ubisoft, headphones on, you go to the left, you go to the right kind of thing. This was the most Ubisoft commercial I have ever been a part of. Yeah. And I left buzzing like, yo, I want to do that again. What did you think?
I'm happy that you say that, because I've never played with somebody who doesn't dabble in this territory. And I felt like when you play with somebody that doesn't play that many of these games, you have to start to sound like those damn commercials. You have to sit there like, okay, I'm flanking right. Okay, ping that. Enemy on the counter. Okay, enemy on the roof. I got 2 enemies over here on the bridge. Cool. Like, because
sniper.
And the reason why we have to do that and say those things is because we want to get extracting the goods.
Yeah.
So of course, a little bit of background. Exoborn comes from a studio in southern Sweden called Shark Mob. Shark Mob latest release was Vampire the Hunt, which was a PlayStation 5 and PC release, and now they're doing this game, Exoborn. I met them last year. Then they thought that they would release this year, which they haven't, of course. And now they have not a clear window.
Yeah.
So they don't have a window for anything just yet. What it sounds like is that they're going for PC first and then console later. What I would like to emphasize is that there are a group of people that worked on the Division games, also a studio in southern Sweden. So there are a lot of Division developers that moved over to Shark Mob to start work on Exoborn. So imagine. So imagine Dark Zone, pretty much. But in a dystopian kind of like post-apocalyptic landscape where there are typhoons and the
weather effects going crazy every once in a while.
The nature is a huge installment of this game. So what the game is about is an extraction shooter that is a PvP PvE. Again, Dark Zone. You fight against the NPCs. You take down force or post or whatever to get the goods that you want to extract, and then you go and you call for the dropship to come. And it's very much a Helldivers 2 situation where you wait for the dropship. And Helldivers 2, sure,
hell breaks loose and things are coming for you.
But at all times, in my head, this is what happened during the Dark Zone. When I call in the chopper in the Dark Zone, this is exactly the same thing. Everybody on the same server knows they got some goods.
Now
let's go there.
Beeline for them.
Another cool thing, they have squads of 3, so they've utilized a little bit of the Apex inspiration here. So every squad is only containing of 3 people. And I'm not sure how many squads there can be in one server. But it has absolutely those elements. Of course, the other squad, they can come in, they can see you, kill all the NPC enemies, they can kill you after you drain yourself on health, they can take your stuff, they can go away with your dropship, and they can take all the goods. And another thing they changed before, because the big thing about Exoborn is that you have exosuits. So you're extremely vertical in your motion.
Almost Apex Legends / Titanfall. Which is excellent. Grapple hooks, like a bungee, what do you call it, parachutes that you can glide with. Very cool. Very cool.
And so a lot of verticality to it, and of course, and sniping feels great. And it's third person, by the way, super important to notice. So this is full-on third person. It does not have the weight as the Division has, of course, because the Division has a lot of weight. It's the best third-person shooting out there, in my opinion. But it is absolutely good enough. Sound design and music, a lot of those things made me think a lot of the first Division when it comes to those aspects. But of course, animation and of course movement completely different. So
about
to
that.
finish to land that plane.
Yeah.
I believe that what they're going for can be cool and interesting. And yes, we asked, can I play this by myself? Yeah, it will be hard, they say. It will be very, very challenging, but you can. And then, of course, they're looking at, a quote-unquote, a set of main missions that they will expand on every time they go further. So they're, obviously, this is a live service game.
Yeah,
obviously. But the template of it is, for me, has always been fascinating since the first time I heard it. Because yes, it's the Dark Zone from The Division on steroids.
Yeah. My only statement to add to that, and again, between the two of us, he is the authority, because I don't dabble in these waters just by the nature of I'm a single player gamer, parent, so I can't pause as much, blah blah blah, all that. But if there's ever been a game that gets me excited to
I'm also
jump
a parent, by the way. I'm just saying.
But he's a parent of older kids, so he can tell them, get the hell out of here, Dad's playing. My kids won't understand that anyway. But like, it's like Balatro. I'm not a card game guy, but Balatro got me. I'm not a multiplayer shooter guy, but this could get me. Maybe it could be maybe it's how we communicated during the thing. Maybe it's how the situation is set up for collaboration, right? It could be and y'all know me, I am not a multiplayer guy, but I'm a Halo guy. It could be the combination of grapple shot and warthogs, right? Because when you're playing grapple shots with warthogs, it's very Halo-esque. It felt very Halo-esque. And I drove their warthog-like, and it felt very physics-based like Halo would, meaning very over the top when you're driving and you're taking hills and the guys are in the back shooting left and right. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. So honestly, like, I hope they're able to land the plane. I hope they're able to bring this thing out, because I have a feeling that this thing could do some it could give Apex and the rest a run for their money if they bring it out, like if the timing was correct. Because it's really good. It's really good. It's fun, you know. I really do. I think it's really fun. Are you worried about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is such a flooded market, as we know.
True.
And I'm thinking, like, I hear the Apex similarities, but Apex has also that kind of like one winner, one game, 20 minutes, one winner takes it all.
They're short loops.
So the model works better for that, where this is more of maybe
tactical buddies together.
Each and every week, we sit down, we do some extractions. Some of them succeed, some of them don't succeed. We gain our loot, level up, we do some main mission, whatever.
Yeah.
But the main thing, of course, Sharkmog being a big studio, fully owned by Tencent. I mean, every studio, every game from every studio is always the most important game.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just worried that this might. I'm not sure how good it went with Vampire the Hunt for them.
Yeah.
I am not sure. So what I'm feeling, because they went back. Yeah, because yes, now I remember. For some reason, I got interrupted by a car or something. So last year they had these exoskeleton suits. They had permadeath on the exoskeletons initially.
Wow.
Which meant that if you died during an extraction, all those things that you leveled up with your suit, there was an element of permadeath to the suit. So you would lose your entire progression, which I found, as the hardcore nerd I am, I found that attractive. I'm like, that now we're talking investment, because that makes everybody on the server be super careful, and that will make it high intense. But I guess I'm in the minority, because again, they had some play tests, they got some feedback, and a lot of that feedback is what made them push it further away. Including one of the small updates they did was, of course, to remove that permadeath for the exoskeleton suit that you have. You have 3 different types of them.
Yeah.
And you can, so there isn't no real leveling in this game, but it's the suits are what you gain levels. So what you want to do as a player who is a completionist is you want to level up all 3 suits pretty much. And if you die with one of them suits, you still have the suit. So you don't lose anything else but the goods. So they have, of course, had to reiterate the economy of the game, and then a lot of other stuff that made it push the game forward, and might not even be coming out until 2027. I hope it comes out next year. And so my thing is, this might be one of those games that actually really means everything for the studio.
For the studio, yes.
Because them being quite frank about, like, launch window 2025 last year.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And now they don't have a launch window.
Yeah.
They take a lot of feedback from the community playtests, and then they go back. Like, that tells a different story.
Yep.
That tells, like, okay, maybe all is on the line. I'm not sure.
It's all or nothing at this point.
Yeah.
But
I really wanted to succeed, of course.
there you go. That's what I was about to say. But on the merits of it, take all the potential meta information out of it. This is a damn good game. It was freaking fun.
Yeah.
If there are playtests out there, if there are early accesses out there, seek it out. If you're about that life, if you play those kind of games, this is up your alley. Even me, who's not about that life, who doesn't play those games, I'm just trying to seek it out because I want to be part of the betas. Because that game is worthy. I'm pretty
there will
interested.
be a closed online playtest.
Yep. I figured as much.
Between September 16th and October 7th.
Yeah.
And so if you follow them on socials, you might be able to figure out where and when and so forth.
I will say, holla at the GCP Discord, because your man's gonna be on the hunt trying to get some keys. It is what it is, because that game is fun. I'm gonna be on that. We have some community members that would love to play test. We shall see if we get access, because that game is worth it. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, thank you for going through my list. Again, we're gonna double click on a lot of these things a little later. I need to know some of the highlights on yours before we get out of here.
Not some, let's just use one.
Okay,
just
give me
make
one.
it easy. I mean, so whenever it gets weird, I get hooked.
Okay, what was weird?
The weirdest thing was Keeper.
Oh wow, yes.
And Keeper has been weird ever since it was announced. No HUD, fixed camera, no dialogue, just, this beautiful landscape, this beautiful art piece with beautiful music. It's just you out there controlling this lighthouse with a little bird on top of it. For some reason, you're walking across these different weird lands and playing with some physicality aspects and some small easy puzzles and some time mechanics in between. And it just creates this, okay, yeah, this is kind of up my alley, where there's no real explanation, and it all starts with them explaining what the game is about, and they're saying, like, so the magical world, that gives you a lot of leeway. So
you can go anywhere you want with that. Yeah.
There's a bird that sits down on a lighthouse. And for some reason, all of a sudden, that lighthouse just collapses and then raises up again. And now it has 4 legs. Oh, so on to the next thing. Like,
what?
It's just,
the bird just happen to have 4 legs. All right, let's
no, not the bird. The lighthouse.
The lighthouse itself. Okay.
It's and graphically, it's so beautiful, so damn beautiful. And I can just see myself getting lost in it, just sitting there, just going with it and letting it flow out. And then I think, when it gets weird and funny like that, that's absolutely up my hill. So that has become the game that I'm most hyped about so far.
Look at that.
And I did not even play it. So
right.
It was not a hands-on, it was a hands-off presentation where they did show us live gameplay. Or gameplay pre-recorded. So the thing is, the biggest thing that I would say about that is, this is one of those, I have to say, one of those few games that was initially pitched after Double Fine was acquired by Microsoft.
This is one of the incubated Microsoft games.
This is one of those games where, when they were on that mission with the PR rounds, like, we want to empower creatives, we want people to be able to feel secure and, follow their visions and do crazy things that other publishers wouldn't greenlight.
Yeah, this is one of them.
This is one of them, just like the Pentiments, This is one of them.
They seem to have moved from that,
what I'm
hopefully
saying
this
is,
exists.
What I'm saying is, I don't want this to be one of the last one of them. But yeah, this is one of them. So I'm really looking forward to that one.
You had me at Double Fine. and Tim Schafer, who I got to meet, ladies and gentlemen. I got to meet Tim Schafer.
Who is not the creative director for this game.
No. Yeah. But still, he is somewhat associated. And
oh yeah,
it's his studio,
of course,
so,
I bet he is.
Yeah. But no, I think there's so much more to discuss. There's just so much more to discuss. But unfortunately, we may have to leave it there because I have to start driving. But Aaron, sir, thank you once again. You know, you make this trip always worth it. You make this trip always more than I initially think it will be. It was super successful, man. It was super successful, and we had a great time. You know, meeting you again and Ludwig and your co-workers and just the atmosphere and. You know, shout out to Oscar's Lounge.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about heading there now.
You want to go back to Oscar's? Yes, that's right.
Maybe I need to sit down and write instead of going back.
This is the German version of Cheers, where every time he walks in the door, they know his name. You know, it's that kind of a situation. But it was fun. It's so much fun to be had there. There will be a lot more content coming on the channel. A lot of recordings that I have to go edit and clean up, and we'll be putting that out for you as well. Aaron, I'm sure you'll have a lot of content for your audience in Sweden and other places, but you'll also be joining us on various podcasts and discussing certain things that you
Of course, if you need me, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's it for now. Yeah. I think we're done. Anything else from you?
I was just about to tip the hat, but no, nothing all. Find a way to get over here at some point. Plan accordingly. Yeah. Ask those who have been here, and make sure to have one of the best trips of your life if you love gaming, because this is a place to be.
Shout out to Xbox Era. Shout out to Paris Lily. Shout out to Xbox, Jason Ronald, Delroy, the great community member Delroy, who happened to just jump in a car and come hang out and just kind of chat games with us yesterday. All the wonderful people we met and hung out with, and just made the experience so much better. Until next time, peace.
Nice to be in orbit.